Some of the banks that you've sold include USB, Wells Fargo, Goldman Sachs, JP Morgan, PNC. Should we think that they're banks that aren't well run because you've sold them? Or?
No. But I do think, I did think that banking could get in a lot of trouble just because of the kind of things that they did, and that I didn't like the banking business as well as I did before.
Why did you keep Bank of America?
Well, a very decent deal for us, and I like Brian Moynihan enormously, and I just don't want to sell it. But I did sell banks that we'd owned for 25 or 30 years, and if they asked me why I did it, I told them. And I like the people. I mean, I just think the system isn't set up quite right in terms of connecting punishment to culprits on something that's it's incredibly important that your banking system run well in the country. It just isn't going to work unless you have a banking system that works, and you don't want them to create periodic crises unnecessarily.
You heard it from the Oracle of Omaha himself. He sold the banks that he's been holding for 20, 25, 30 years. People that he's had great relationships with. He just dumped all of his bags. He said that the banks have gotten themselves into a lot of trouble because of the things that they have been doing. And I quote, "I didn't like the banking business as well as I did before." He kept it really simple for everybody in the room. He was asked, "Why did you keep Bank of America though?" Well, he said, "I got a good deal and I really like the people." And that's one of Warren Buffett's well-known principles, is to invest in good products, but even more important to that is people that he likes and trusts and thinks are good people. So this was a big endorsement for the management team over at Bank of America. But I could tell, even when he was talking about it, that if it wasn't for those relationships, he would have dumped all of the banks. And in addition to that, he specifically said that the banking sector as a whole is a system that is just not right. And he used the terms punishment and culprits. Man, that invokes the feeling of fraud or even illegal actions in my eyes. Warren Buffett did not say that, and I wouldn't even say that he inferred it, but boy, based on the use of those select words, I sure felt that that's what he was implying. And this leads us into the fact that we've got some very big banks reporting tomorrow. We've got Citigroup, C ticker. We've got JP Morgan, JPM. We've got Wells Fargo, WFC. Just going to briefly comment on Wells Fargo. I think in particular, it's not a great bank. And in particular, I have really disliked the management team over Wells Fargo for well over a decade. So I think that out of all of them, I think they're going to be punished the most. Going into the Q1 2023 earnings, we're already seeing that there is a forecast for them to come up short, approximately 4% year over year. And then I want to take a minute and look at what the dollar is doing. The dollar dropped today quite significantly. And the question is, if the dollar continues to fall and if the banks come out and do very badly, could this pump Bitcoin and crypto? Could this be the additional push that we need to see over in Bitcoin to drive it up to 32K? The banks just absolutely dropping. Before we get too bearish on the dollar though, I want to just take a brief moment and point out that on the charts, it could be accomplishing a double bottom right now, and we might see a reversal on the dollar in the days ahead. We got to keep a very close eye on it. I'm going to cover today Bank of America because it's the one stock that Warren Buffett kept in his portfolio, and I'm going to briefly comment on PayPal as well as Square, SQ Block. I know you guys, I've got a lot of requests for both of those. I'm just going to briefly comment on them. This is the Stocks with Josh show. Thank you for hitting the like. Hit the subscribe and the YouTube all notifications bell for daily stock and crypto insights. If you need better trade tools, in the top pinned comment is a link to the moomoo investment app. These guys are currently offering up to 15 free stock and a cash coupon valued up to $1,500. What is a cash coupon? Well, when your money clears and the deposits that you need to make go into moomoo, then you will see in your account a cash coupon of $1,500 extra dollars that you can immediately begin to invest, as well as the fact that they're offering a 1-month subscription right now to Benzinga Pro. This is a great app to help people get their options game moving. But after you get all that done, then you can come find the chat group that I host on the app. We got a lot of success in the chat group today. People were making money. Get your account opened, start investing today, and then come find our chat group called Stock Josh Fan. Throw a heart in the comments and say hi if you're a member of the chat. Okay, I've got a lot to cover. I'm going to do a lightning round at the end on some other hot stocks and good performing stocks. So let me just be concise with my technicals on Bank of America. I'm going to give it to you straight. Before I do, I want to briefly explain the difference between a prediction and support and resistance. When I give a support or a resistance, I am not making a prediction. What I'm telling you is the approximate trade range. So if I tell you that something could go as low as $6 or as high as $14 and it's currently sitting at $10, I'm giving you guys the range. I'm not telling you it's going down to 6, and I'm not guaranteeing you that it's going up to 14. I'm giving you guys the trade range because that's how you can make safe investments. You can put your stop loss at support, and you could consider taking profits if it moves up to resistance. That's how that works. I'm going to be giving you guys support and resistance today. Don't take them as predictions. All right, so the bottom line is I also, like Warren Buffett, have not been pro the banks even on the dip. I've not been buying the dip. I just think that there's a lot more to unwind, and even if a good bank has dropped a little bit and a bad bank goes out of business, I think it's going to affect all the banks. Banking crisis is going to be like the tide. It's going to bring every ship down. And so I think Bank of America, I'm looking at where is the support beneath and where is the spots where you would even consider taking a position. So what I see is 2 historic support. The first historic support goes all the way back to 2011, and it's an upward ascending trend line, and we have hit it and touched it and verified it more than once. And if we came back and hit it again, the stock would fall all the way from where it's currently at, been trading around $28, all the way down to around $23. And beneath that, you say, well, Josh, is that as far as it can go? Are we guaranteed a bounce at $23? Absolutely not. We have no idea how deep the recession will be. We have no idea the impact on the banks. And so that could be, or let me say it to you this way, we will get a bounce around that $23 mark. So if you wanted to trade the dead cat bounce, then yes, you could easily jump in at the 23 mark if it flashed down. But the only true support, if we want to take a much longer view on the banks, the only true support goes back 20 years, and that's at $18. That's the next historic support below. And if the banks are in as bad of a position that a lot of people fear with the Fed hiking up those rates, these are not unrealistic. Josh, are you predicting that Bank of America is going to $18? Should I sell everything and wait for it to get to $18? No, this is not a suggestion for you to buy, sell, or hold. Those are areas where this will find support in the darkest moment of a banking crisis. That's where it would find support. Now, above it, we see the 200-week simple moving average. Now, this is also very bearish that we're beneath that. Historically, if we're beneath that, it means that things are not going well for a stock or even a crypto. So what we want to see, and what I think we will eventually see, depending on where Bank of America eventually falls to, is it will eventually go back up and back test the 200-week simple moving average. Now, if it does that, that back test could bring Bank of America up all the way to $32. So if we were to fall dramatically, the high level of take profit in the days ahead would most likely be around $32. Now, if you followed me, I have covered Bank of America before, and I made it very clear in more than one video that I sold all of my Bank of America stock at $34. It vacillated in that range. I think it even went as high as $35. But since then, it has obviously had a major hit. I took profit pretty much right at the top. And so I would say these have been spot on predictions. And so right now, I'm not thinking of touching Bank of America until it gets to $23. And I kind of think we're going to get there. Okay, PayPal is even going to be more simple because I've got other great stocks I want to briefly touch on today, and I want to touch on crypto a little bit, so hang in there. PayPal, there is absolutely nothing in the charts that signal a buy for PayPal. PayPal is absolutely in a bearish trend and has not given any confirmation of a buy signal whatsoever. I like the PayPal company. I've always liked the PayPal stock. I've been an investor before, but it's almost 80% down from its all-time highs. Now, if you go to its all-time highs, it gave a distinct double top, which is actually very, very bearish. Anybody who has any technical training would have known then at that double top that it was time to sell. It's come all the way 80% down, and it's near its bottoms now, beneath the 50-day moving average, which is absolutely bearish, and we actually might have a double bottom. That's what it looks like right now, but we need to hold the current level and not make a lower low. And what we really need to see is it come back above the 50-day MA, which would be around $80, and that could potentially signal, that could provide us a buy signal on PayPal, which we do not have just yet. Now, SQ, Square, Block. You guys know that I covered the Hindenburg short report on this stock, and I said in that video that I was keeping it on my watch list for a potential entry to go short. That position for me was $70, which I viewed as resistance. It came up, it hit $70. That's where I took my short position, and it's been falling. Now, I think that the path of SQ is undetermined. We don't know whether it's going to unwind or if it's going to find support here and go up, but I think all of the financials are going to come under some pressure, and so I'm holding my bearish view on SQ. And if you're bullish and you wanted a buy signal because you think that Hindenburg was wrong, you think Josh is wrong, then you could look simply for a close above the 50-day MA as a potential entry for going long on SQ, while I'm sitting here thinking that it's going to come up to the 50 and get rejected and continue to go down, but we shall see. All right, I want to do a lightning round on stocks that I have high conviction on that I've covered in this last week so we can see how we've done and what I'm doing right now in the coming days. I'm going to go very, very quickly through this. All right, let's quickly cover Tesla. Tesla, it was a perfect call yesterday when I said that we had to buy the dip with the blood in the street at $180. And lo and behold, we've had a nice little pop today, and we're still moving towards earnings, which could continue to give some momentum to Tesla. If you recall, we're still operating on a buy signal, but we're getting into sketchy waters, and around the 50-day MA would be $192, $193. It could be very tempting to take profit at that spot because it will have had a nice $10, $13 run up. But what I want to point out to you guys is that we are beneath the 50 MA on the weekly time frame and above the 200-week simple moving average. And clearly the 200-week simple moving average has worked as support. We came back, we back tested it again, and we've bounced. And so we want to see a move all the way back up to the 50, and that would bring us to $215. And again, this is not a prediction. I'm sharing with you that it is a technical possibility, and right now it is honoring that 200-week simple moving average, and it's very likely going to revert back to the mean, which would be a back test to 50, and then it could get rejected there. That's 215 in the charts. That's what I'm keeping my eye on. Now, Alibaba, as I've said, I'll keep it simple. I bought the dip. I think it's going to $107 and then eventually $120. I'm bullish on Baba. The folks that sold their Baba position the other day was a bank, SoftBank, I believe. They're simply working to raise funds on a profitable trade, a profitable position that they have been in for a very long amount of time. So I do not view that as bad news. Quickly cover Mara and Riot. I gave you guys the exact technicals the other day. I said on Mara, I said we get a nice close above $8. We're going to get a pop up to $11.40 or $12. 12 being the peak, $11.40 being the resistance. We got to $11.68. Bitcoin is still looking bullish, which means that these can continue to push higher, but it would not be unreasonable to take profit at $11.40 to $11.68 range. Nobody would blame you. And over on Riot, I called it up to $14.50. Today we hit $13.88. And again, I think it's very likely that we're going to get to that $14 range. But if you took profit early, nobody would blame you. ADA is up. I had my ADA position in at 32. We started the journey at the 40-cent range, got stop lossed out, entered back in at 35 cents, got stopped lossed out, began to enter back at 32 cents. This has worked. It's come all the way back up to 41 cents. Each of those pennies is worth close to $750 to $1,000 for me. So this is a massive win. I'm going to have to be making a decision whether I want to take some profits or whether I want to go higher. The charts absolutely indicate that ADA can go higher from here. I will give you this brief warning on crypto that Bitcoin is pumping up, but when and if it decides to take a crash, it could absolutely bring the alts back to all-time lows, something to keep in mind. Right now, we're seeing Bitcoin dominance, which can have an adverse effect on the altcoins because the altcoins have not been going up as much as Bitcoin is going up. So you need to be aware of that in all of your investments. You might not be wanting to buy the top of the altcoins right now. Right now, it's Bitcoin and Ethereum's time to shine. There's going to come a moment when all of it comes back a little bit and you might get a better entry for alts. So be patient with the alts. Quickly covering Ethereum. Ethereum blasting up to $2,000 today. Now, if you followed my videos that I've talked about Ethereum twice, I said to you in regards to the Shanghai upgrade that I believed that it would be sell the rumor, buy the news. That once the bad news finally came to pass, which was all these $30 billion worth of Ethereum getting unlocked and flooding onto the market and potentially creating volatility and a potential sell-off, that once we got there and got past it, that once the volatility was realized and we didn't get a massive sell-off, I saw it as a potential for the stock to pump because people were not buying as much as they wanted to over the last couple months because of this bearish news. But once we've gotten to it and it hasn't fallen apart, it was sell the rumor, buy the news on Ethereum. And that's exactly what we got today with this pump up to 2,000. You guys know that I'm my first target for Ethereum right now is 2,200. That's what I'm holding out for. Got my stop loss lifted a little higher though. That's it for us today, guys. Hit the like and the subscribe and the YouTube all notification bell. I appreciate all of the love I get in the comments. Right back at you guys. Peace and blessings. Take care. See you in the chat.